What's up guys, and welcome back to my channel. Glad you are here. Today I'm continuing on the little mini series that I started on my last video, just addressing comments or DMs that I've received asking me to talk about various topics. One that I've received multiple times this year, but I have been very gun shy to make, is a review of the Leica M6. So let me just start by saying I am not really a review guy. And what I mean by that is that I like to talk about practical usage, my own philosophical take on things, but I am not the guy that's gonna go down and read a spec sheet and give you all the little ins and outs of any type of camera or gear that I use or that you might be interested in using. That's just not me. I've really shied away from trying to do review videos. And regarding the M6, there are so many review videos of the M6. I have personally felt like there's really nothing technical that I can tell you about that you can't find probably done better on someone else's channel. But what I can share with you is why I enjoy shooting the M6 and what the M6 has done for me, but also what it is not. I feel like with the resurgence of film that is happening right now, there is a lot of assumption that the camera plays a really big role in that film aesthetic. I've got really bad news if you don't shoot film or you're considering it but aren't experienced with it. The camera plays very little in what the film photographs look like. The look of film comes from the film itself as well as the characteristic of the lens that you are using. So regarding my Leica M6, let me just grab it. I've got a 50 Summicron on here, and when I go out and shoot, my photos are going to have the look of whatever film stock I've put in here, which for me, the film stock that I just love shooting the most is Kodak Gold 200. Everyone loves Portra 400. It's an incredible film stock. I don't use it that often. I just love Gold 200. It's cheaper, it looks great. I like that it's a little grainier, and for me, the colors of Gold 200 look fantastic. Just love it. I also shoot black and white in this camera pretty often, shooting Ilford FP4 or Ilford HP5. The photos that I take with this have the characteristic of the film that is inside the camera. And of course, the lens plays a big role in that, but that's true of digital photos as well. So really, think of film as the sensor inside the camera, but you can change the sensor. All the Leica M6 is a mechanical experience. And what I mean by that is this thing is a very well-built and well-engineered, well-crafted mechanical experience. Just like any other film camera, and let me grab a different one real quick. Okay, I grabbed three. Let's talk about these for a moment. All right, so here's a Pentax ME. This is one of the smallest SLRs ever made. It's a mechanical experience. This Leica M6 is different in the sense that it's engineered different, it looks different, it feels different in the hands, it's a rangefinder. Of course it's different, but at the end of the day, it's a shutter. That's it. The film is the ISO, the lens is the aperture, this is a shutter, this is a shutter. They go about how they arrive at the shutter a little different, but they're both just mechanical things. They're just shutters. So whether it's the Pentax ME, or let's grab another one, or this Minolta SRT 101, just a mechanical, just a shutter. That's all it is. It's real easy to overthink the role of the camera in film photography, but it's really just a shutter. I don't know why I grabbed this. Why did I grab the point and shoot? I'll just started grabbing my film cameras over there, a few of them. So if it's just a shutter, what is so special about the M6? They've remade this camera last year. They re-released this camera. Now this line, the M6, was produced from the mid-80s, I believe 1984, and I think the final one in production was around 2002. So this was the camera of the 80s and 90s for Leica. The M6 was just engineered very well. It felt very good in your hands. And that's why, as I talked about in my last video, a camera like the M10R is basically the same experience. They are similar in size and feel and layout. It's all very much kind of the same experience. Now, if you don't know, the M6 is really an M4P with a meter. So if you want to save a lot of money, find an M4P and just manually meter your photos and don't use the camera's meter. From a technical standpoint, the camera has the light meter and it has the rangefinder and the viewfinder, and it has the film crank over here. You'll notice that on the M10, they put the ISO dial where this film crank is. You've got your shutter, which also is a little bit of a thumb grip. You've got your shutter speed right here on the dial. On the back, you've got your meter that you set depending upon the film stock that's in there. I have gold 200 in right now, but I'm metering it at 50. So as I shoot, I'm overexposing, but that's just like a press and spin to set your meter. I sometimes forget to do that when I'm changing film stocks, but it is what it is. And again, it's not overly complicated, but the shutter sounds wonderful. I actually have a roll of film in here right now, but just for your sake, I'm gonna hold it up and fire the shutter. That is just a wonderful sound. And the crank and release, also a wonderful sound. And I would even say that like the vibration of the shutter and the crank feels really nice, but that's also kind of true of a lot of film cameras, you know, like this one feels nice too. A lot louder, but it feels nice. And then even the ME over here, which I may have film in this too. I don't really know. Got it locked, which tells me I might have film in it, but there it is. That feels nice also. All that to say, there really isn't anything incredibly special about any film camera other than, is it A, reliable, means it built well, B, does it do what it says it will do, meaning that when you put the shutter where you say it's gonna be and the meter where you want it to meter, is it gonna accurately do those things? Not every camera is made the same and not every company put as much precision into their engineering as Leica did. This camera is incredibly reliable and the camera does what it says it's going to do. But at the end of the day, why do I own an M6? It's because I own an M10 digital camera, and these two systems, keep pointing up here, these two systems, as I shared in my last video, they share lenses. They're a shared experience, meaning that I get basically the same experience shooting digital or shooting film. I never meant to buy an M6, I meant to buy an M4, and I was actually on my way to pick up an M4 from a guy in San Francisco whenever I got a call from the Leica store in San Francisco, because they knew I had kind of been keeping my eyes out for an M6 or an M4, and they had this one dropped off. I told them I was on my way to buy an M4. When they told me what they would sell me this one for, I just bailed on the M4. I felt so bad. I called the guy and I was like, hey, not gonna work out. And it was all good. But I ended up picking this M6 up and it's just been great. Super reliable. Everything about it is just what I wanted in a film camera that can share lenses with my digital camera. So that is ultimately why I shoot the M6. But if you're in the market looking for a film Leica and you want to use the lenses that are largely available today and not the old screw mount lenses, what I would recommend to you is to look for an M6 if you are if that's what you're looking for and that's what you want, or an M4 if you want just a cheaper, it's literally the same camera, it just doesn't have the meter. And if you're the kind of person that just does Sunny 16 and you don't need the meter, or you want to use an external meter, then find an M4 for literally half the price of an M6. Of course, there's plenty of other cameras out there that Leica has made, other great film cameras like Leica MP, and you can't go wrong with good mechanical engineering, and that's why we all grab the M6. I hope this little review was helpful in understanding why I would shoot the M6, why I have it, why I love it, and literally I'm gonna pass this on to my grandkids one day. This is an incredible camera, super clean and reliable, and so I plan to keep this camera for life. Plus, it's from the 80s. I'm from the 80s, so we vibe together. If you have questions, please ask them below or shoot me a DM. All of my information is below. Thank you guys for watching, for being part of the community, and I would love to hear your feedback at any time, so it's always welcome. I try to reply to every comment and message that I get. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time.